Good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, coming to you from my mama's basement after a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving dinner and even better Thanksgiving game by our Cowboys, who win 45 to 10 against the left hand up Washington Commanders. Uh, Very, very good win. Ugly at times. Not that the final score di- uh, indicated that, but it was. We gave up some drives. We gave up some yardage. Sam Howell's a good quarterback. He is. Young, but good. He's playing against a not very good offensive line. We were in his face all day, but we're going to break it down. I did predict the mailbox last night on Primetime Studios, or Primetime Phil, brought to you by Primetime Studios. 40 44-17. So I was close. But 45-10 is good. More importantly, we got out of the game relatively unscathed injury-wise, and that's was very key. We needed to get through this past week in Carolina and today, and we did. We have won now 13 home games in a row. We actually have a home field advantage. Our offense is a walking 40 burger at home. So I like that. Wasn't all perfect, but it didn't have to be. At least not today. Yeah, when we play teams like Philly, teams like Seattle next week, I think we're going to have to be ready to go. They got weapons, regardless of what the Niners are doing. Right now, Niners are up 24 to 3, and they're having their way. But at least we get Seattle on home. So we need to take care of business next week. And then that sets up a big game Sunday night at home against Philly. If we have any illusions of winning the division, we need to beat the Eagles at home, and then we're not done. And then we go to Buffalo, to Miami, home against Detroit at left hand ups, the Commanders. So a lot of football to be played. Bill Parcells always said the season doesn't start until after Thanksgiving. Well, here we go. We're right where we want to be. We are now, I think we're what, 8-3? I think that's what we are. I think we're 8-3 now. Yeah, we're 8-3. Uh, so Eagles are 9-1. They play Buffalo on Sunday at 4:25. I will be live streaming that game, so come check me out. We'll see. Hope we're gonna root for the Bills. You tighten it up. That would be nice. But let's break down the game. Like I said, Washington did have some success in this game. Let's not act like I don't think the score indicated early on. I know the chat was a little concerned with what they were seeing. But the important thing is, kind of like the Eagles' defense last year, we didn't give up points. We gave long drives that yielded nothing. As frustrating as that could be to watch, it was fine. So you didn't give up any points, then it was okay. But Sam Howell, he was 28 for 44 for 300 yards and an interception. No touchdown passes. But he showed some moxie in the pocket and moving around, getting flushed out, finding receivers. Kind of reminded me a little of Tony Romo-esque. Don't just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, but Sam Howell also leads the league in yardage, so I think it's an indication that's even with Chase and Sweat, who they traded away. Um, their defense hasn't been great this year, so he's always having to come back and throw the ball. Uh, Robinson had 15 carries for 53 yards, and their big receiver was Curtis Samuel, who had 9 receptions for 100 yards. They had a couple other guys who had some decent days, but that was it. Dak, however, went 22 for 32, 331 with 4 touchdown passes, and early in the first quarter, there was a couple drives where he missed guys streaking down the field, so it could have been a lot worse. Sometimes Dak is when he's not into a rhythm. If you ever see him do his, you know, his workout before a game, he's a little stiff. Um, sometimes he's better when he gets a sweat. That's why I say it's good for Dak to have to run around a little bit, get a lather going. It's kind of like a boxer coming out dry and not, getting a good workout in the back. You get a little lather going. You get your rhythm. But either way, Tony Pollard had 13 carries for 79 yards. He ran for 6 yards a clip, one TD. That's about what you want to see. 13 to 15 carries, that's where you want Tony at. Rico didn't get many carries, but he did well. He was still banged up. Brandon Cooks, 4 receptions for 72 yards and a touchdown. You know, you had Rico, like I said, had 3 carries for 11 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 53 and a touchdown. Kavontae Turpin scored. Rico Dowdle scored. Uh, you know, it was, those games are fun. Those games are fun to play when you could just throw the ball at will. But Washington did out first down the Cowboys. They had 23 first downs to Dallas's 21. This goes to those long drives I was talking about that they didn't score off of. They each had 15 passing first downs. Washington had 7 rushing. We had 5. Just to blow through some of the stats, Washington was 7 for 15 on third down. We were 6 for 10. So it seemed like we were moving the chains. We weren't getting the third down quite as much. We only had 10 third downs. Total yards, we had 431 to their 376. Relatively close. They did have 2 more drives than we did. They had 11. We had 9. I went over the passing.
Whoa, Floyd. I absolutely.
Yards per pass. Dax was 10.3. Sam Howell, 5.6. That's big difference. That's bad. Sack yards lost. That was a key to our success. Our offensive line seems to be gelling. Dak did not get sacked. I really like what I saw. I understand that Washington's pass rush isn't what it used to be. Still, I've seen improvement over the last 2 games. So it was a much welcomed. Dak was able to step up for the most part in the pocket, and you see what happens when he has time to throw the ball. He's deadly. Dak now has 23 touchdowns to 6 INTs. He leads the league in touchdown passes. He's on his way, people. I'm not going to say it. If you guys, all you people that are
Floyd.
talking about, everybody that's talking about MVP and, all that stuff, we got a gauntlet of games coming through. I'm not about all the stats. That's for other people to worry about their stats. We got to beat Seattle. We got to beat Philly. And then we got to go on the road at Buffalo and at Miami. If we can win 3 out of 4, only losing one of those AFC games, if we win all 4, that's what we need to do. But I think we could afford to lose one of those. We just can't lose against Detroit. And then we finish off at the left-hand up Commanders. So it's all sitting there for us. We have to clean up a few things, but I was pretty darn happy with what I saw. But getting back to the stats, Dallas had 7 penalties. They could still clean that up a little bit. We didn't turn the ball over. And we had a defensive touchdown, people. We had a defensive touchdown. DaRon Bland has set an NFL record. It's not easy to do, people. What he's doing now is incredible. DaRon Bland has his 5th pick 6 TD this year. Very, very incredible what he's doing. This just goes to show you that sometimes when life gives you lemons, sometimes you can make lemonade out of it, or opportunity that Deron Bland was given when Trayvon Diggs was lost for the season has just we found a diamond in the rough. Now we knew he was good. He did have 5 INTs last year as a rookie. We knew he was good, but we always you thought of him as a slot guy. So the fact that he was able to go and play the boundary corner that I didn't think he could necessarily do. I didn't say he couldn't do it, but I hadn't seen him do it. And Dan Quinn never played him there, so Dan Quinn's probably just as much of a pleasantly surprised as I am because I didn't know that he had it in him to play the boundary corner, and yeah, he does, and then some. Mark brought up something on the broadcast tonight that Micah Parsons has to worry about Deron Bland being the defensive player of the year. I mean, 5 pick 6 touchdowns. If he continues and gets another one, and he's doing what he's doing, Deron Bland player of the year. I mean, that's what we're talking about, people. This is big, big, big. Only Dallas, right? But don't worry. It's a good problem, people. It is a good problem to have. But shout out to him, man. What he's doing is incredible. I want to touch on just an overview of the day. Everybody was talking this morning about the Detroit Lions and how great they were, and they were going to be a juggernaut, and we're behind the Lions. Everybody needs to slow down with the Lions. They got their butts kicked at home against a Green Bay team. Now, Green Bay played well, but Green Bay is not a good football team. Just look at their record. And Detroit lost at home on Thanksgiving against them. So just slow it down. We're 13-0 at home. If we need that game, which I'm sure we will, we ain't losing to Detroit at home, people. Book it. So slow down with the Detroit love. I just watched the Barry Sanders doc this morning, and it was great. If you get a chance, check it out on Amazon Prime. Barry Sanders was unbelievable. As much as I love Emmett, and I got the authentic jersey behind me, and I love Tony D, and Emmett, has set the NFL rushing record that'll probably never be beaten again, just based on how many years he played. 11 years, never got hurt until he left Dallas. Excuse me. And he went to Arizona. So, but Barry Sanders was the best, man. Barry was the greatest. Check it out. It was a great watch. But Jerry Jones, real quick. Jerry Jones has come out. If anybody that watches my lives or my lunchtime chats from work, I do a chat every day. On my lunch break, and we talk about all things NFL and Cowboys. Jerry Jones has come out. I want Shaq Leonard and Darius Leonard, who was released from Indianapolis. Nobody claimed him, surprisingly enough, on waivers. There's a lot of teams who need linebackers, but his cap hit was $6.1 million. People rolled the dice, and he cleared waivers. So he's free to sign with any team. You would think he would want to play for a winner with a possible Super Bowl aspirations. Eagles, Dallas, Buffalo, I hear Chicago because of the coaching ties. I hear Eagles because of a coaching tie. But he has ties at Dallas. He played with Stephon Gilmore when Gilmore won the Defensive Player of the Year. They're really tight. I don't know that they're going to get him, but I'm just telling you now, if they don't get Darius Leonard, a.k.a. Shaq Leonard, they're fools. With Leighton Vander Esch not being in the mix anymore, probably his career's in jeopardy, and we don't have a lot there. We lost to Marvin Overshone in training camp. We got Damone Clark, who's playing better. Don't get me wrong, but he's still not Darius Leonard. And we're using um, Rashad Evans. Yeah, the linebacker out of Alabama. He was on the street. So how good can he be? And Marquise Bell, who's a safety slash D back, sliding up the box in the box, playing damn well, but he's not a very big guy. When a team wants to run downhill on you, we're going to be in trouble. So Shaq Leonard is the perfect fit for us. So, but Jerry Jones says he likes the Cowboys linebackers, but doesn't rule out interest in Leonard. He doesn't want to say they are doing their due diligence, but in my opinion, they really want him. It's just, are they going to pay what it's going to take to get him? Because the Eagles and other teams are going to probably play a few million, not 6 million, but 4 or 5 for the remainder of the year. We shall see. Maybe he'll come on a little bit cheap if he really wants to come to Dallas. But if you want to win, you can't be rolling the dice like that. Go out and get the damn player. Uh, you know, and I'll go over it. The Cowboys are down linebacker after placing veteran Leighton Vander Esch on the injured reserve. Um, the Cowboys owner is said after Thursday's blowout versus the Commanders that the front office had a short meeting about Leonard before the game. So they're talking about it. We'll see how we do with our evaluation and look at him pretty good, Jones said. So they're going to pull out the tape of him this year. He hasn't played much. He hasn't played much as much this year just because of the defensive scheme that they're running. So, but we shall see. But he says he don't want to give any indication of the degree of our interest with him because of other teams, and they don't want to tip their hand. They're interested. That's what that tells me. We'll see how much they are interested. But I was thinking of Rashawn Evans. I was right. I think I said Rashad, UFC. But yeah, that's it. They're gonna evaluate him. Yeah, I got news for you, Jerry. Bring the guy in here. You need help. That will free up Micah not to have to play those snaps at linebacker. He could focus at the end because right now he's still playing a half dozen snaps at linebacker, which takes him off the edge. You know the deal. He was a menace again today. He had 2 more sacks or a sack. I have to look it up. He either had 1.5 sacks. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Video, play by recap, box score. Let's see. Team stats. I guess I can do team stats, right? Let me see. I should have defense somewhere. Let's see. He beats me. Yeah, I can't find it right now. So, let me see box score. Defensive stats. Okay, here we go. Sacks. Hankins had 2 sacks today. Micah Parsons had 1.5. Shout out to Jonathan Hankins. So the Parsons is up to 11.5 sacks. So, after 10 games. So he's going to approach 18, 20 sacks, I would think. So, do the deal for Leonard, people. But nevertheless, that's it for me. Cowboys win. Don't poo-poo the win. You play who's on your schedule. And we needed to win, and we got to win. That, if we would have lost, we would have got hammered for it. Enjoy the win, Cowboys fans. And everybody else who says that they stink, oh well. We played them. We beat their brains.
Whoa, Floyd. I absolutely would not send that.
All that really
Game-saving interception. Thanks, Marcus.
I'm telling you, saving with Synchronous Bank is much easier than making all these saves around here.
Voice coming on again. I'm going to exit that out. But that's it for me. Game Time Brian is out. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow. I will have some content tomorrow. Go Cowboys. Peace out.